Alright, okay. So yeah, looks like it's all good. Everything seems to be in order. So let's just jump straight into it. So today we're going to play some more Dwarf Fortress. It's been a long time since I've streamed any Dwarf Fortress properly. We streamed a little bit of it earlier on this month, but that was mainly just to kind of get back into the swing of things and to mess around a bit because it's been a while since I played this. So you can see here I've generated a new world, and I was looking around for interesting start locations, and I think what I want to do is I want to embark on this location here. So you'll see that there is a volcano here. This is the volcano. It's called the Hairy Rage, by the way. And there's a few other things that are nearby that are kind of interesting. I just want to quickly make sure that we got the right dwarven civilization selected. So our civilization is going to be the Post of Rubbing, and our king is a guy called Reg Wimendors, which is interesting. But we're going to embark here anyway. So just to go over those features before we start. It's a tropical grassland. It's wilderness, so it's not that dangerous. There is obviously the volcano, which we can make use of. There's a few trees. It's quite warm. There's a bit of vegetation as well. There are goblins and humans nearby. So this is a, I think this is a goblin hamlet over here. You can see that we're kind of like on the edge of some goblin stuff. There's a fort over here. I think this is a human fort. But then over here as well, to the side, we've got a tower. So this is a human tower here, which means that we're probably going to encounter some zombies at some point, necromancers and things. And we might be able to do something about that. So yeah, there's also a tomb up here. That's interesting. You don't see that very often. So this is a tomb site over here. And yeah, there's a human town next to this goblin hamlet. So yeah, there's a few things going on here that seem interesting enough. And I think it'll be an interesting embark location, so I think this is where we're going to go. And we'll have access to the volcano as well. So yeah, you selected an area near a necromancer's tower. They may be invaded very early by powerful foes. That's fine. So I'm just going to keep these settings on normal, just because you know, we haven't played that much recently. So let's try and keep it a little bit on the easier side. And we are going to be embarking next to a necromancer, which is always a challenge. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to make a dwarf who's going to be a military dwarf to start, just so that we've got one kind of ready if we need it. So this guy here, Adem Biban Stuth, the peasant. Edem Ball Fences is his full name. 64 years old. Is there anyone here who's like in particularly a good person to be like our first starting warrior? It doesn't really matter. This guy's got a high stamina. He doesn't like hard work. He's overcautious. He's also frail, which isn't great. I don't normally go into this much detail when like trying to decide what my dwarves will do, but maybe it'd be worth doing it here. So this guy is patient, shameless, and proud. So I think probably, yeah, we'll just go with the top guy. Helden for first noble. Oh, you can't. No, 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 no. That's not how we do it in Dwarf Fortress. In Dwarf Fortress, you can have a dwarf named after yourself, and you only get one per fortress as well. So if your dwarf dies, then that's it. But I can't name one after Helden if he's not here. So you know, it's up to you. Can have a dwarf in the Fortress Kaladin if you want, but obviously, you know, that comes with risks. All right. You know what? You can be the military dwarf if you want. You can be this guy. So yeah, back to what I was saying. We want a military dwarf. We want a guy who will be kind of like just kind of there to protect people and stuff. So what I'm thinking is we'll put some armor user skill on this guy, and then we will give him it's kind of changed a bit. I think as far as like. As far as what is a good skill to have in terms of weapons against zombies. I think weapons that slice are better versus zombies compared to things like hammers. Although that might be wrong. I could be wrong on this because it's been a while since I've looked into it. I think what we'll do is we'll go with an axe dwarf. So we'll make this guy a proficient axe dwarf and a proficient armor user. And then he's just going to be our military dwarf here. Then we got Iral Zaslid here, who will be... we will make him into our miner. We're going to need a couple of those. And we'll also make him into a mason. And we'll do the same again with this miner slash mason here. We'll then also need one woodcutter. We only really need one, so I'll make you a woodcutter carpenter. We'll have a couple of furnace operators. Furnace operators? Sorry, I think we'll have a couple of farmers. So we'll have a where is it? We want a planter. Put some points into planter, and then we also want a brewer. So we want a brewer here as well, and then we'll do the same again. Planter, brewer. This guy over here. So we've got 2 farmers, 2 miners, 1 woodworker. This guy can be a stone crafter, and he can also be a maybe a stone carver as well. I think just have a crafts dwarf with us. It's not super important. You were a warrior last time and got killed by a small animal. Well, this time maybe you'll get killed by a zombie instead. You know, like I don't know if you consider that an improvement or not. So let's have a look and see. So we want to take some weapons with us. Well, we want to equip one of our dwarves with some weapons, so we've got at least 1. Ideally, we don't want to fight at all if we can avoid it, but I think it'll be good to just have that set up to start with. We could just start with like an iron battle axe. In fact, we're already taking... we don't need to have... yeah, we'll take a copper one. That one is going to be for the woodcutter, and then an iron battle axe will be for the military dwarf. Then we want to check out some bodywear. So again, we'll just go with iron. We'll go with a iron mail shirt and breastplate. We'll go with an iron helmet. Just go with some iron gauntlets. I'm going to go with an iron high boots. And this is going to use most of our points. We can ditch some of this stuff as well. So let's get rid of the wheelbarrow, wooden step ladder, get rid of all the crutches, get rid of all the splints, get rid of all the buckets. And let's throw in a chain leggings as well. And I think that should do. We could take a shield with us, but we can always make one of those very easily. There's no point making a shield out of iron. It doesn't make any difference. Then let's go have a look at our drinks. So, animals as well. So we want to make sure we bring a dog and a dog, breeding pair of dogs. Want to do the same with cats. And usually, I've talked a lot about this in the past, but I like to take geese with me. So we'll take a bunch of geese. Then we've got 50 points left, so we could just throw those into drinks and things. Earl von Vommer wants to be there. Oh, this isn't the adventure mode. No, this is not adventure mode. This is just fortress mode still. Yeah, we'll put people into the game as soon as we're. Sorry, hold on a sec. Sorry, just oh, I've got a really bad sneeze at the moment. I don't think you guys want to hear it. Let's just get some drinks. So we want some dwarven ale. And we'll also take some dwarven rum as well. Yeah, that'll do. I'll even that out a little bit. That'll do. You have no idea how much Sims 3 is bearing into my mind after last stream. I was considering streaming Sims 3 again today. I couldn't decide whether to do this for Sims 3. But I thought I'd like to get into Dwarf Fortress a bit more. But we might do Sims 3 another day. It won't be tomorrow. I can say that much. I can promise you that there won't be a stream tomorrow. But we might do Sims 3 a different day. So in terms of things that we're taking, though, I think that's everything that we need. We've gotten our seeds. I think we should be good. So let's embark and see how the map is. I didn't think it'd be weird for an adventurer to start with a wheelbarrow. A dwarven outpost, you have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost, blah, 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 blah. I forgot to set the name of the fortress, but the fortress is named Kelangud, Metal Brother. And it looks like we need to worry about the jaguars eating us. So let's just immediately pause the game and let's have a look at our site. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So it looks like the volcano basically spits out directly on the surface here. And oh, they've gotten rid of my settings. I need to quickly Change my settings again. I don't know why this changes every single time. Somewhere in here. I remember because I enabled it last time. Oh, we have got numeric liquid levels. I don't know why it's not showing me my numeric liquid levels then. Oh, okay, it's because I need to go down a level. Yeah, that's right. So we got a lava field of 7s here. Here's some bad Rimworld. Surely the fortress should be Fort Malloy. I'd need a wheelbarrow for all my stuff. The thing about wheelbarrows is that it costs you a single log to make a wheelbarrow, so you can just make a wheelbarrow, right? If you need a wheelbarrow that badly, you can just make one. You don't really have to do anything particularly fancy with a wheelbarrow early on anyway. So I would always want. I would never take one with me. I would always make one if I needed one. It's just simple that way. And we don't have many trees, but we do have some trees. So again, it's just really not worth it to be doing that. We have kumquats, cashews, macadamia. So we have a few different kinds of trees as well, actually. Coffee. Can possibly brew some coffee for the dwarves, maybe. I don't think so, but you never know. Date palms, like citron, kumquat, yeah. So we have plenty of trees and stuff. There's just no need for us to do anything like that. What we're going to do first is we're going to start by, once the game's paused, we're just going to assign our first military dwarf. We can possibly do some stuff with the lava. That's kind of why we started here in the first place. So, oh yeah, we need to appoint a militia commander. So we're immediately going to be going here, and we want to appoint this guy as our militia commander. There should be. I have appointed one. I wonder if I need to unpause the game for it to count. Yeah, there we go. And now we can set one up. So we're going to just set up a squad here. The gloved bands. And it's been a while since I used this menu. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to go to details, new body weapon. We're just going to specify all of this junk. Did he only bring a right gauntlet? Do you not have a different? Do you only have one gauntlet with you? Ah, oh, I forgot the Dwarf Fortress does this. Oh my god, this game. Okay. Yeah, see, she's got one glove. Right, new weapon, specific weapon. Okay. Right, and the other thing that's happened is that the other dwarf is. So if we click here, you'll see that this woodworker is picking up equipment, and he's gone and picked up the iron axe, which I don't want him to. I want him to use the copper axe. So we're going to just let him pick up equipment, and then we're going to tell him to stop that. See here, he's picked up the iron axe. So the way we can do this is we can just set this to forbidden. So we just unpause the game, and that'll mean that that axe will be dumped on the floor. So that should mean that he goes and picks up the other axe. No, he's still holding on to it. If we tell him to dump it, then he should dump it. This is the fun part of Dwarf Fortress, isn't it? When you have to do all the managing and telling your dwarves to do things early on, because you know, it can't be as intuitive as it is in a game like RimWorld, for example. Right, I'm just gonna make a dump there. So I'm just telling him to. Hopefully he'll go and dump the axe in here. He might not. Is he really going to be like that? Okay, well, we'll solve that in a bit. It's not a priority right now. We got other things that we need to do, just like basic stuff at the start. So the other thing I want is don't show me that again. Let's have a look and see what creatures are on the map at the moment. We got some rhinoceroses, which is kind of worrying. and our expedition leader has gone off to fish. We don't want him to do that. We never want them to fish. So we say fisher dwarves, nobody does this, just so that nobody goes off and fishes by themselves. Woodcutter, maybe if I say that I don't want you to do woodcutting either for now, then maybe they'll dump the axe on the floor, which would be great, because I want the other guy to pick it up. Yeah, so you can see here the axe has been dumped finally, which means we can then go into here, go to our squad. This guy, why must they be so violent, she thinks to herself. Equip you, and then go to details. Oh, it didn't save, did it? Okay, well, we'll do it properly now. So we got all of this junk. So specific helmet, leg wear, hand wear, footwear, don't have a shield, specific weapon, the iron battle axe. Name this Axe Dwarf. Confirm and save uniform. And she should then go and equip all that as soon as that goes through. So, yeah, we've gotten all that sorted. Okay, and then is there anything else that we desperately need to do, or can we just start digging? I don't think there is. So, we shouldn't have an aquifer here either. Yeah, RimWorld does like a lack of intuitiveness, but Dwarf Fortress takes it to an entirely different level in terms of like just the random stuff that it like requires you to do. So yeah, the most obvious feature here is we've got this massive massive tube of lava. It stretches all the way from the top of the earth all the way down into the magma sea basically. So if we keep scrolling down, this will be where the magma sea is roughly, this level. So that's going to be interesting, and we can use that for our mining. In terms of metal, this site doesn't have access to anything that good. I think the best metal here is platinum, which isn't a military metal. We've also got copper, which is going to be our only military metal that we have. So that's going to be fun. But let's have a look and see if we can find a location to start digging out some stuff. So we've gotten some clay over on this side, which we'll need for our farms. It looks like there's some clay up here, so we might have to dig some farms up on the top here. But where are we going to start with our entrance? Oh, and before I forget, let's say tasks, labours, woodcutting, and you do this. There you go. Okay. Is there an absolute bottom of bedrock? Anything special about it? If there is, there is something at the bottom, but I'm not going to discuss it on stream because it's kind of spoilery. But there is something down there, you know, if you dig too deep. Alright, let's just quickly sort out people who have requested dwarves, and then we can unpause and, you know, really get started on building an actual fortress. I just need to quickly bring up the they changed the layout of stuff on Twitch every time I look at it, and everything is in a different place. And then a bunch of stuff that I want is like removed, so I have to open up my channel points queue to see who's requested stuff. Reject that. Reject that. Yeah, just Vommer and Dennis at the moment, so we'll just sort those out. So we'll go with let's go with Earl von Vommer. Be one of our two miners. And Baron also wants to have a dwarf, and Dennis says he'll happily join the fortress, so we'll do that. Dennis Wolf, and then let's name the alleged military dwarf after Baron von Porn. And Kaladin also wants to be in here as well. I don't have a. You said you wanted to be a smith earlier. I don't have one, but you can be the stonecrafter. How about that? Okay, right. So that should be everybody, and we can then mark all those as complete. Then we should be good to go. Okay. So yeah, we want to think about where we're going to locate our fortress and how we're going to do that. I had this idea in my mind that I would have basically a fortress that we could have an entrance that we could then close, because we'd be able to flood it with lava basically. So we'd have like an entrance that we could fill with lava. And I'm looking here now, and I think this would be the best location for something like that. So what we'd want to do is we want to strip back some of this rock over here. So we'd probably want to just start by channeling it out. Well, not channeling it out, but just like mining it out. So, or we channel it out from the level above, I suppose. So we could, so we could start by like channeling this out here. I think actually we'd just start by mining it. We'd mine it from this level here. So, let's start by just doing that. So, but basically, the idea would be to make an area where we could fill it with lava, and then after we'd done that, we could then drain the lava back out of it, either into the ground or by pumping it back into the lava into the tube. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to try and do. So we're going to start our fortress entrance here. We're going to have to dig up a bit so that we can put our farms a bit higher up than this, because as you can see here, this is all stone, which means it's going to, we can't really grow anything on here. There's nothing to catch in the northeastern swamps. We shouldn't be getting that message unless dwarves are doing stuff they shouldn't do. So schedule. These guys are currently off duty. There should be a way to tell them to pick up their equipment even if they're off duty. But I can't remember how to do it because it's all changed. You have got your equipment, or at least you got your equipment order items. You're not wearing it at the moment, so again, this is me. Okay, yeah, so they should be set to equip always. I think that should do it. I'm not sure. We'll have a mess around with that later. There might be something they need to look up on the wiki. But realistically speaking, we're not going to get attacked early anyway. We might get attacked relatively early, but we're not going to get attacked super early. We just need to have a dwarf who's got some kind of equipment so that we are ready for when something does happen. So, yeah, we've got on this little entrance pit here, so I'm not sure how long that is. Doesn't really matter if it is super centered, does it? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could do a massive entrance here into the fortress like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do it just like that. So we'll do a 3x3 entrance leading into the fortress. We'll then take a turn in this direction here. I'm trying to think now. So if we go to here, then that'd be a decent location. Yeah, so this will be here where we have farms on this side. So this will be kind of where we have our farms located. We won't have lots and lots of space for farms, but we need to have it relatively close to the surface because it needs to be on the correct sort of biome to actually, grow food and things. And we can then have the rest of the fortress maybe branch off on a different location or in a different space. But I think that's a good start for now, so we'll just dig all this out. And then maybe we can get some dwarves just doing some random stuff in the background. So let's go and grab a workshop and let's make a stoneworkers. Just stick it in the corner there. And we'll have one of our dwarves just start making some furniture. And whilst we're on that, we should also start telling our dwarves to cut down some trees. So let's cut down that tree. Doesn't really matter which ones we do. When designating cutting down trees, by the way, this is just a little tip. You have to tell the dwarf to cut the tree down at the very base of the tree. If you tell them to cut here, for example, then they won't be able to do it. They'll only figure it out if you tell them to cut the base of the tree. So that's what we're going to do. We'll just tell them to cut all the bases. And they should then go and do that. So yeah, he's gone to cut all that down. And yeah, that should be good. Fell tree, tasks. Yeah, we got all those guys here. Have you put on your equipment? No, you haven't. That's fine. We'll have a look at equipping dwarves later, because it's one of those things that's notoriously difficult. We want to keep dwarves away from this lava as much as possible until they need to be near it. So I think getting the dwarves inside early on would be good as well. So we should try and make like a dining room pretty early on so that they're not hanging around on the surface. But now that we got this, what we can do is we can tell them to start making doors. Doors are just something that we're always going to need. So I'm just going to tell them, you know what, go make doors out of this stone here. We've got loads of it on the floor anyway, and you know, that's just going to be a good start for our industry. And we'll do the same again, but this time we will go with carpenters, and we'll stick that there. And we'll be telling them to do the same, but to make some beds, because we need beds. And you can see here they're digging this out. So this is where we're going to have our farms, and we'll dig out the surrounding bits of this here as well. Have like a small farm on this side too. We need to be careful because it's very easy to accidentally make holes inside your fortress when you're digging at this sort of height. So we just need to make sure that we're not going to accidentally create like a path into the fortress that nasty things can get inside. But we should have plenty of space to make a decent farm here, and it's always something that we need to do early on. We could, to maximize space efficiency, what I think I'll also do is, I think on this level here is where we'll make like breweries and workshops and things. So we're just going to maximize the space and use as much of this as possible for just farming. So if we were to dig this out here, let's cancel that here. Maybe what we could do instead is to have like just the small room here. So this would be a room. We could put our geese in this room maybe. We need to have a goose room. Anyone familiar with my streams will know that I am a big fan of farming geese in this game. He's trying to give water to something. So the other thing is as well, this yak and this horse are going to starve to death. So what we can do is, to prevent that from happening, we can set ourselves a pasture over here. Accept. And what we want to do is we just want to assign the yak and the horse to the pasture. Alarm geese? Oh, we've done alarm geese before. We could do alarm geese again for certain. Let's get some doors in just to start getting some stuff into the fortress. So, yeah, we've got on this here. Now we just want to start placing farm plots. So we just go to our farming here and we place the farm plots as such. We could probably do with a couple of different farm plots maybe. So I'm not sure how much space I've given myself, but we'll do one there. And then we'll have another one immediately next to it. So workshops, farming, and then another farm plot here. So we've got 2 farm plots. And then I think what we could also do would be to make a crafts dwarf workshop. So we've got the stone workers. We need a craft workshop. It's different than the from the stone carvers workshop. And we need that to make ourselves some, what you call it, some, not doors, but nest boxes, so that we can put all the geese into here. So I'm going to just assign this area now. So this is going to be another pen here. And we want to set up these geese here and just put all of them inside. Galka would like to have a miner or a mason. All of our miners and masons are named at the moment, unfortunately. But if you're willing to wait for the next migration wave, then I'm sure that we can accommodate you for that one. Yes, there does appear to be a volcano. I want to see an adventure mode playing as a goose. I don't think you can play as a goose. I think you might be able to play as a goose man. You might be able to play as a goose man. I don't know if you can play as a goose in adventure mode. I don't know if goose men exist in this game. That, you know, there are some interesting different animals and things. Yeah, it does need to be sentient. That you could turn into a goose. If you're unfortunate enough, that could happen to you. So you could be a person who turns into one if you roll badly on on dice, I guess. So that could be a thing that happens, I suppose. So I'm going to put 2 breweries on this side here. Maybe we could make this. Yeah, we could fit 4 into here. Not even as a weregoose. You wouldn't have to be a weregoose. So in adventure mode, you can find divination dice, and if you roll the divination dice, there's a chance that you roll badly, and if you do that, then you know the gods might get angry at you and turn you into something nasty. I don't know if they can turn you into a goose. I just know that that could happen. But I'm going to assume that the only way to you could normally play a goose would be if you had a weregoose. But yeah, we've gotten all of our geese inside now, or at least it looks like most of them. So we just want them in here so that they aren't running around. They're not going to accidentally fall into the they're not going to accidentally fall into the lava, for example, or anything nasty like that. And down here, what we're going to do is we're going to place some stills so that we can get some brewing going very early on. That's obviously very important. And yeah, we can also then look at getting. I think a good spot might be to do it here. So we can have just a massive stockpile for beer, just up here. And we can then have a look at getting some other stuff going down in this direction. So we'll need to have some workshops for like butchery. Okay, so a rhinoceros has attacked one of our dogs. Hopefully our dog hasn't died. It looks like it is dying though. Pale, seriously injured, health. Where is the overview? Okay, so her left front leg is torn open. Her left front paw is mangled beyond recognition. Okay. I should have pastured my dogs over here, I think. What we'll do is I'm going to quickly grab a rope. I'm going to stick one of my 2 pigtail ropes over here, and we're just gonna lock up one of the dogs on the rope. Hopefully the dogs don't die, because I only brought 2 dogs with me. I didn't bring 4. This is why I usually bring extra dogs with me in case this happens. There aren't any elves near us, unfortunately. But there are zombies, so we can sacrifice zombies to the volcanoes. Right, so let's get some workshops up. So we want to make some. It's under farming, isn't it? Yes, stills. One. Yeah, just do those there. Yes, there are goblins. There are goblins, there are humans, and there are necromancers. But there are no elves, unfortunately. And we found some native aluminium, or aluminum, as you would say in the US. One of the previously rarest materials in the world. Not so these days. We can make a statue out of it. Alright, so we've got in our workshops now. So I'm just going to set up one of them with a task to brew drink from plant. And over here we're going to tell them to start growing plump helmets. Just all year round on this plot here. So we want them to do that. And on this one we'll tell them, I think, starting from summer, we'll tell them to start growing cave wheat, I think, for now. And we'll just do cave wheat. We could probably do with setting it to maybe pigtails instead, actually. But I'll just do cave wheat for the time being. So everybody's like sleeping on the floor. So this rope is set up here. So now it looks like the dog didn't die yet. Pets. This is the faint one, the seriously injured one. So that's the female dog. So we'll put the female dog on the rope. Have dwarves discovered bauxite processing? Unfortunately, no. The dwarves also haven't discovered how to harness the power of uranium yet, despite finding the exact right stones to do it. Yeah, maybe one day, right? Okay, let's dig out some rooms here. So these over here, these are just going to be... just do one more here. So these are going to be more workshops, but these are workshops that need to have their own doors. Yeah, dwarves don't know how to make bread either. That is another thing that they don't know how to do. It turns out there's a lot that dwarves just don't know how to do. We've probably got enough doors by now. Let's start by making beds. Just repeat that. Over here, let's tell you to make cabinets. Make rock cabinets. We'll make those out of the same material. Just do that on repeat. We probably should do this here as well. You know what? I don't care what kind of material you make those beds out of. Just make it out of whatever wood you want. Then we also want to go over here and we want to make nest boxes. We only need so many of them though, so I'm going to tell them to only make so many nest boxes. Otherwise we'll just end up with loads and loads of them, which I don't need. So 1, 2, 3, let's just go with 4 for now. So we'll go with 4 nest boxes. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you make them out of, you've only got access to one kind of stone anyway. And those will go into here, but yeah, everyone's going to go do some planting. I think our miners are being useless, so yeah, we can see here. You can see here that our miners are currently planting seeds, which we don't really want them to do. So we're just going to tell our miners to be specialized. So this just means that they won't go and plant seeds. They'll do all those kind of things, which is exactly what we want from them. And you still haven't equipped your military uniform. I wonder if that'll make her equip a uniform. No, she's planting seeds. Nah, whatever. It's obviously the squad system continues to elude me as it always has done. Oh, we've got microline now, so we've got a new kind of metal. Not metal, sorry, stone. Let's get some workshops up in here. So in these spots, we just want to put a butcher shop. We want to put a workshop, farming, and then we want to put a kitchen. Then the other kind of workshop that we want is going to be a tanner. And then we've got a slot open that we can use for something else if we need to. So how's everybody else been today, by the way? Have you all had a good day today? Hopefully it's all been relatively productive for you guys. Let's see, workshops. Okay, so we're going to tell them to put the nest boxes in. Geese can't lay eggs unless they have nest boxes. It's pretty productive for a change, that's good. I know the feeling. Sometimes you just have those days that are like really unproductive, and it can really suck when that happens. But you learn to get by. Right, so let's start by getting our first proper stockpile. So this is going to be a stockpile for the drinks. We're just the drink stockpile over here because we've got our stills, and this will be where we put the drinks. So food, although we want to do it custom, set this all to none except for drinks. Or we'll also set animal drinks, even though we're never going to get mead, or at least we're not likely to get mead anytime soon. But they should then store all those drinks there, and we can name this to drinks stockpile 1. So they then should go and move all the drinks into here. The other thing that we should do is we should start building a bridge, just to start getting some basic defenses up in case we need them. I think that's correct. Yeah, anyway, we'll get a bridge here. So this is just so that we have a way to close the gate if we need to. We're going to move all these workshops downstairs soon. We just set those up temporarily. What I'd like to do, I think, is have the on this side perhaps we could have a different staircase that leads into the or maybe we could just have it carry on straight from here. But basically, I want to have a different staircase that carries on into the heart of the fortress proper, that's separated off from the farms, and we'll have that go down to, let's say, to about here. Let's just go to here. We don't need to go too deep yet. We don't even really need to ever. We don't ever really need to enter the caverns because we got access to a volcano, so we don't want to dig too deep, or at least not too early. We should try and find some metal though. Like, we got tetrahedrite here, so that's copper. Which we talked about, copper and silver specifically, so we've got access to that for making some weapons and things. Again, we've got native aluminium, which we can use to make some statues and things. Again, more native aluminium, one of the rarest materials in the world at one point in history. Nowadays, not worth very much at all. But for the dwarves, it should be quite nice, and they can make some fancy stuff from it. We haven't invented flight, but we can definitely fling stuff. Like, if we get some goblins onto a drawbridge, we could fling them across. We could fling them across the fortress using that. So I don't know if that constitutes flight. I guess it probably doesn't. But yeah, let's see. Oh, peat. There's some peat over here. We could consider building a bedroom level on here, maybe. We could have some very close by bedrooms. Let's dig in this direction. Let's just start building out bedrooms. I don't want to do it that side, I want to do it this side. So yeah, I want to get bedrooms early. It usually takes me too long to get everything like sorted in the fortress, so I'm trying to go a bit faster than what I'm usually like, just so that we can get our dwarves into a relatively good position. So that means getting them to have bedrooms, getting them to have the basic economy stuff set up, and hopefully doing that before even the first migration wave gets here, or, you know, soon after, so that we can start, you know, thinking about like trading and getting all those kind of supplies and things, so that we're ready to go relatively quickly for a change. So this is 16 beds. We'll have 5 on either side, which will be well, we'll have 10 on either side, so we'll have 20 beds in total, which will be a good number to have. Should cover us for the first start of the fortress here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side. Just so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this will be perfect. So this will just be a very basic bed layout. I've never been able to get the coin catapult to work on stream. Like, that's a great failure of mine to do that. It's you know, we should probably explore using those sorts of mechanisms for stuff at some point, but I've just never really managed to get it down. All right, so let's get some beds in here. I kind of want to put the other dog on a rope, so I'm going to do that. I'll put the other dog here. And then I think what we're going to do is, so we need to have a space for a trade depot as well. So we want to have that possibly here. seems decent enough. Yeah, so we have a trade depot here, and then we can have a stockpile here just for general stuff. And just saving the world. So hitting summer, so we should be getting some migrants soon. If the game saves properly, that is. There we go. Okay. So yeah, let's just quickly clear that out. So this is where we're going to stick the trade depot. We're not going to set up any fancy mechanisms for like for any of that kind of stuff anyway. I want it to have an entrance that isn't here or here, so it doesn't have to go past either of these two ropes. And let's get the other dog onto this rope as well. But this is basically a very simple form of this is a very basic form of just protecting the fortress from things like thieves and the like, just as a way to make sure that you know, nothing nasty can sneak into the fortress. And our miners are digging out this kind of stuff. They're very slow at mining, but they're getting better at mining, which means that they'll speed up as the more that they do this. So we just have to wait for them to get better at it. It looks like a goose has managed to escape from the goose room. I'm not sure how that's happened. Let's just make sure that they're pastured properly. Yeah, they should be pastured in there. So I'm guessing some dwarf is going to come and take them upstairs to the goose room at some point. But other than that, everything's going fine so far. We can start putting some doors in these bedrooms. Needs cave wheat seeds, that's fine. So we've got some bedrooms here, and we can then start putting some beds in here. How many beds have we got uneven? We've probably got a whole stack of them. Yeah, we can tell them to start making beds. We've got more than we need. Dwarves in Dwarf Fortress are a lot of things, but unfortunately they're not strong enough to sleep in beds made out of rock. Or at least you'd have to download a mod in order to enable that. Paladin has become a stone carver. How can animals be stupid enough to fall into lava pits? It's not something they would do intentionally, it's something that would happen by accident. So, you see here, like, we've had those rhinoceroses running around up here, for example. So, if a rhino was to charge at a dog, for example, the dog might dodge the rhino, but then by doing the dodge, they end up inside the lava. So that could be something that happens, for example. It's not likely to happen. It's more likely that the dogs just get killed by being attacked by, like, that they just get killed by being attacked by the rhinos that are on the surface, because that's already, one of them almost already died from that. And that's why I'm putting them inside, just to prevent that from happening. Also because, like, if these dogs are on ropes here, so this is a 3x3 corridor, 3 corridor here, so this means that nothing can get past the dog without alerting it. You can get hidden enemies in the game, so you can get, like, goblins that'll try and sneak into your fortress and steal stuff. By having the dogs like this here, then it prevents that kind of stuff from happening, because if a goblin tried to sneak past, the dog would spot it. So that's just the other reason to do it like this. It's not super necessary, but it's just kind of like an old habit that I've picked up along the way. And Old Freeport wants to be in. Sure, you can be... How about the woodcutter, the woodworker? Dogs don't need to eat. Dogs do not need to eat. The only animals that need to eat are grazing animals, which are horses and yaks and things. So the dogs can just stay there forever, and they will be fine so long as they do not get killed or die of old age. But it's fine because they will breed. Even though they can't physically, they don't need to be next to each other to be able to breed either. So you could have them locked up on different sides of the map and they'd still be capable of doing it. So we'll have replacement dogs in the future. We could use geese. We don't have to use dogs. We could just as easily use geese. But the only animals that actually need to drink and eat are dwarves and other sentient life form. In fact, not even all of them do. Like goblins don't need to do it, but that's because goblins are immortal. They have function. They have effective immortality, and so do elves. Humans do. Humans need to drink else they die, and so do kobolds. But animals are a bit different. It's kind of like one of the limitations of this game. Workshops, trade depot. Just realised that this is a horrible shaped room to put this trade depot in, so it's going to look off no matter where I put it. Whatever, we'll just put it there. Actually, hold on. Put it there. And we'll just use wood for it, why not? No, we'll use microline. Microline's a cool material. As expected of the Superior Colony sim game. Yes. No, it was more complicated than that. Cats would die of alcohol poisoning because of the way the taverns interacted. So yeah, that would be that was like a really common thing that would happen. Like cats and kittens and stuff would just die from drinking alcohol in taverns and not being able to handle the alcohol and then just dying of it. But like taverns have been incredibly interesting in terms of like those sorts of things since pretty much the moment that they were added to the game. So like for example, well, I mean, just having a tavern is like a risky proposition anyway. It's fun to do though because it gets your people from like outside of your fortress visiting, and they do interesting things. So it's worth doing, but it is still a risky proposition. For what it's worth, I don't think that this game is superior to RimWorld. I just think that they're different games. I think that I think that they're just different. Basically, is how I'd put it. I don't think that this game is superior to the other, or the other way around. Monster hunters are nice. I mean, you get monster hunters anyway. You don't need to have a tavern to attract those. They'll just appear anyway. So I'm just making a small workshop here. And this will just be for food. And just plants. So this will just be a plant stockpile. So we've gotten some basic bedrooms. Let's assign some of them. So these ones can be assigned. The rest can't be assigned because they don't have doors yet, but we just need to tell them to make more doors in a bit. In fact, we can tell them to do that now. So stone. We've got a whole bunch of cabinets. We can cancel that task. Go back to making doors. And just put that on repeat. Giving them cabinets is nice because it just means that they get a little bit more happiness from having a slightly fancier slightly fancier bedroom, and it also means that they won't dump all their stuff on the floor, or at least in theory they won't. So yeah, we make cabinets for them because it's just a cheap way of making the rooms slightly higher quality. So let's dig down a little bit deeper. So what we want to do is we want to make a level where we can have some workshops. So I think we'll do it on this level here. Yeah. So you can see here they're converting these into proper stairs. More tetrahedrite, which is great. It struck mica, I guess. And we got some gems and stuff. We never really mess with gems in any of my streams, but we could do that. We could make some gem encrusted stuff. All it really does is increase the value of it and like how attractive it is. So like dwarves will get happy moods from looking at stuff that's of high value. So you know, that's something to keep in mind. Galena here is an ore of silver and lead. So let's make sure to mine out this level so that we can start making some pots made out of lead, shall we? I think we need to do this over again. So yeah, I think what I'd like to do would be to make some like a stockpile room here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I'll have some stockpile rooms here, just to put some junk in. Like so. Pots of lead, what could possibly go wrong? Dwarves can't get lead poisoning, so you can do that. The only problem with making pots out of lead is that dwarves have to then carry them places, and they're extremely heavy. So it's not the best idea, you know, to do that. But you know, it is possible to do it if you're feeling so inclined. So you know, keep that in mind. All right, we get some more beds in here. So we currently got 5 bedrooms. I have 6, 7, 8 bedrooms. So that's a good setup. And I think maybe on not this level, maybe on this level here, we can start putting some dining rooms, some temples and things. So yeah, I think that'll be good. Dwarves have got iron stomachs. Heliodor, I don't know what that is. I think that's is that a gem or a rock? Oh, it's a gem, okay. Never heard of that one before. More Galena, excellent. So I'm going to tell them to stockpile wood down here. Because I want them to just bring it all downstairs and into the fortress when they dig it up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 5. I don't know what you're talking about, Dennis. I have no idea what you're on about. They look, they're both exactly fine, okay? And some migrants have arrived. We have got some migrants who are arriving in the fortress. We'll see what the population looks like in a second. But at the moment we've got 13. We've got on 1, 2, 3, 4 weaponsmiths and a potash maker. And a peasant. So let's see if any of these guys are actually good at smithing weapons. Adequate weaponsmith. Legendary weaponsmith. Adequate weaponsmith. We got a legendary weaponsmith. Excellent. So, yeah, I guess we're going to have some very nice weapons in the fortress. It looks like our population's going up to 13 though, which is a pretty reasonable size. You know, not too many migrants. You can get like migrant waves in the 20s, and it's like you just have so many dwarves arriving all at the same time. It becomes a real nightmare to sort out. I don't want to. It's not dormitory. It's bedroom. I want it on multi. What legends have been told about this weaponsmith? Well, we're not sure. Like, we can have a look and see some details about him. So it's this guy here, Eden Rickererith. He is a Whisker Laboured is his name. He's 61 years old. He's got 4 children. He's a legendary weaponsmith. He's a competent swords dwarf. And a novice climber. He's got some climbing skills. He knows a little bit about the festive style and the wonders of lace, which is a poetic form and a musical form. Like, let's have a look at his personality. Oh, she has an iron will, a great memory, a summer patience, and a feel for music. You can see all the different like random junk here. So like she's these are her values and stuff. Military wise, she killed a goblin in a place called Exit Paged at some point. So we don't know what the kind of situation that caused that was, but she has killed somebody in the past as well. But it was only a goblin, so it doesn't count. We could go and look at the history pages after this. Well, I couldn't do it during the stream, but I could go and take the save file and look at all the history details and, you know, find out like which fortress she'd lived in and all this kind of stuff. She probably has an artifact associated with her, because I'm guessing that she became legendary after she made an artifact. That's usually how it happens. But it might be something else. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make a new work detail here, and this is going to be a weaponsmithing work detail. So we're going to just name this weaponsmithing. And then I only want her to do... Oh, we got 2 legendary weaponsmiths. Okay, I didn't realize. Did the second one only just arrive on the map? Stinthad Thatherdim. Or maybe I didn't see him in the list. Yeah, this guy here as well. This guy's also a legendary weaponsmith. Relations. His aunt is a weaponsmith. His uncle is a potash maker. And his cousin is a peddler. Okay, he's got an extensive family. And he's got another cousin who's a hunter. This guy's also killed a goblin. So yeah, they've got some stuff in common there. So let's make a stockpile over here. So this will be a furniture stockpile. Over here we'll make another stockpile, which will be a just a finished goods stockpile. Then over here we'll have another stockpile, which will be a bars and blocks stockpile. So we'll just bring some stuff downstairs here, and then we're going to build some workshops on this level. So I think what we'll do is we'll start digging those out here, like so. Just have these like that, and then we'll have one there and one there. So yeah, we just want to start placing some workshops down, so we can have our dwarves in here. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. I will do it like that. This probably isn't the best way to do workshops. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind if it's not exactly optimal. Is there a particular reason my hallways are so wide? Dwarves, you should make your hallways at least 2 wide, because dwarves will have trouble moving past each other if it's a 1 wide hallway. I like to do 3 wide hallways because it means you can put stuff down the middle of them. So, for example, I could just line up a bunch of statues down the middle of this hallway, which I think looks nice. So, I quite like to do it like that. But I don't. There's no reason you have to do it like that. Like you could do it however you wanted, really. It's just a matter of personal preference, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Then there's a gap. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But like I say, it's just a matter of personal preference. Loads of people build their dwarf fortresses differently, and you can, you got this massive empty canvas of stuff to play around with, right? Like you can do it however you want. It's your game. Don't let anyone stop you. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have some temples over here. I usually like to have my temples be kind of like a bit more oddly shaped, I guess. Maybe something like that. We're going to need a few temples, so this will just be like the temple district. Dwarves are funny creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, they need to worship. If they don't get a chance to worship, then they get angsty. So you need to accommodate their desires to worship. We'll just start with this for now. We'll just start with 2 temples. We can assign one to the most common god in the fortress, and then we can assign the other to the to just be a general temple that everybody can use. And then we also need to think about like dining rooms and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll have a think about that in a second. But I think that'll be fine for now. So just just to get some very basic. Do it like this instead, actually. Yep, there we go. And we should also then try and get some, maybe get some statues into the fortress. Maybe we could maybe have a look at starting some smelting. Maybe we could get some of that valuable aluminium to make some aluminium statues. I think that might be a nice thing to do. So let's just let them dig all this out first. It's a lot to dig out, and we need to get these workshops down. So over here we'll have a bunch of carpenters' workshops, like so. I need them to dig out this square so I can place the last one. Then we want to have a bunch of stone masons workshops over here. Oh, we don't need that many to begin with, actually. We have got some that we're building on that side as well. So once this has been dug out, they'll be able to do on that side. But once we build those, we can go to the surface and delete that one, delete that, and delete that one. Because we don't want these on the surface anyway. And then what we also need to do is to get a mechanics workshop, a crafts dwarf workshop. And that's mostly it for now. That'll be everything that we need for the time being. Just looking over our food and drinks, it looks like we've got plenty of food, plenty of drinks still. I'm just going to go up here and just make sure that we've got a task to... Oh, okay, so we're out of barrels at the moment. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tell one of these guys to start making some wooden barrels. And we'll just put that on repeat. And let's also go over to the surface here and let's have a look around for some more trees that we can cut down. Because, you know, we want to make sure that we've got plenty of wood in our fortress. There's still plenty of it on the surface as well that hasn't been taken downstairs. But let's just cut down as many of these blasted trees as we can before the elves appear. Well, the elves aren't going to appear, thankfully. But still, we want to get those trees into the... You know, we want to make sure that we're getting those precious resources into the fortress. Goslings have hatched, excellent. Cut down trees, meet elves. Yeah, precisely. Elf soap economy. Unfortunately, dwarves won't make soap out of elves because they won't make it out of sentient creatures. It's actually one of the things that distinguishes humans from elves, generally speaking. Elves from dwarves, I mean. Okay, and the other things that we need to do. So, we've got our dwarves here. We want to set up our nobles, so we're going to need a broker. I don't need a broker right now, actually. I'm going to need a manager. Potash maker, you're now the manager, and we're also going to need a bookkeeper. There's another peasant here who had nothing going for them, so Bim, you are the bookkeeper. So we've got a manager and a bookkeeper now, which is excellent. So we're going to need offices for them, which we will sort out soon. So now that we've gotten these set up, let's just say make a table out of, I don't know, let's make it out of microline, why not? And then we'll make another table out of microline. Doesn't really make any difference, it's just a matter of colour. And then on this one here, make a throne out of microline, and then make another throne also out of microline. There we go. Can non-dwarfs make elf soap? I don't think so. But I mostly think that because I don't think that anyone other than dwarves know how to make soap. Soap is a weird material in Dwarf Fortress. You know, it's a weird material. You can't bring it as an Embark material either, which is unfortunate. Alright, these guys are digging this out over here. I think we should make a third pickaxe so that we can assign one of these dwarfs who's not that useful. Because we don't need all these weaponsmiths. We can make one of these weaponsmiths into a miner. But obviously we need to craft a weapon. So what we would do is we could build a so on this level here, we'd go workshops and then magma forge, and we could build a magma forge like just here, for example, and just temporarily build a forge here and smelt some bars of galena and stuff. But So there's a lot of geese running around the fortress. I'm guessing these aren't being auto-pastured, which they should be being. You know what? We'll just let the goslings run around on the fortress, that's fine. We'll probably butcher most of them at some point anyway. There we go. Set up the brew drink from plant task again now that we've got some barrels. Alright, so this here is going to be assigned as a meeting area here. It's good to have meeting areas because it just means that the dwarves won't be running around going to random places. But what we're going to do is we're going to set this up as a temple. And these are the gods of the fortress, and we can see which are the most worshipped. It looks like, unfortunately, there's a wide variety of gods instead of just having, like, you know, like a couple, which means we're going to need loads of temples. But we can set this up for no specific deity, so that just everybody can use it. But these are the gods that we got. So we've got Ubal Voltveiled, who's the god of rumours. Obal Rained-Grand, the god of boundaries and duty. Lashed No Warbs, the god of inspiration. Ral Playful Diamonds, the god of luck, games and gambling. Ushlob, god of festivals. Bok Bon, the god of consolation and suicide. Ishlom, fertility and agriculture. Then this god, who is the god of death, rebirth, the sun, the sky, and the weather. And there's a god here of fortress and wars, jewels, wealth, trade. So yeah, the typical stuff. It looks like the most popular dwarf here is the god called Baal, who is the god of mountains, earth, water, and fish. But yeah, we'll make a temple to Baal, and we'll make a temple to the other, to no specific deity here. The temple doesn't have to have anything in it. It just needs to be a space that's designated for them to worship. And I like to make it fairly big because sometimes dwarves will do things. They'll like, if you give them instruments, for example, they'll do performances and stuff in there if it's big enough. So we want to make sure that they have plenty of floor space to do that kind of stuff. So this guy here, Destot, is currently praying to Baal. He is the lover of Baron von Porn. He feels wonder after incompletely performing the rites of the Amethyst faith in an undedicated temple. So yeah, you can see all these dwarves coming in here. And this is just, you know, another little thing that they can do to help them with their mood. We want to give them lots of distractions, lots of things that they can do to, you know, keep them happy at all times. Alright, and this temple here is done, so we'll do the same little thing again. So we just want to assign this. Oop, did that wrong. Huh, what did I assign this as? I've just assigned it as something, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm glad that you can repaint zones and things, because that's like this is like a real high quality of life feature for this game. So we set that up, and then we want this to also be a temple, and this one will be a temple to Baal, called the Sunny Sanctum. So they'll have those two temples to choose from. Again, even though there's not really much between them, we could carve all this and make it look engraved and nice and stuff, which we probably will do at some point. But for now, it's not a priority. We want to pause the game. We want to go to our workshop level here. And that's great. So we want to go to workshops, and we want to go to crafts dwarfs. Let's get a couple of those. We only need a couple of those. And we also want to make sure that we've got 2 mechanics. Mechanics workshops are very important. But we're not going to need many mechanisms just yet, but we want to make sure that we got those on the way. Alright, so let's go here. Let's just put you on rock mechanisms. We just want somebody to start putting out some mechanisms. And I'm thinking as well, what would also be nice would be to start making some crafts. So why don't we stick you on that task of making crafts out of rock? You are still making wooden barrels. You probably don't need to make any more wooden barrels for now. But what we do need is bins. So we'll make a new task, and that'll be for wooden bins. And this will just be so you can see here, for example, they're putting like ropes and things just on the floor here. If we give them bins, then they'll be able to organize these properly and make sure that everything is better organized. So we want to make sure that they have those. So that's that. Is there anything else that we need to do desperately? I don't think so. I think we're mostly okay. It's mostly just making sure that we can close this drawbridge here. And we also probably want to start thinking about setting up a defensive perimeter here. So like, let's get rid of these ramps here and here, so that we can like close this down if we need to. But at the very moment, we have got the bridge, which we can shut. So we need to make sure that we have the mechanisms to be able to shut that. I guess I just don't appreciate art, says Saint Kaladin. And you can see here, we've already got some bins now, so they're going to stuff into the bins, and they'll fill up all of these stockpiles, so that means that we can store far more things into them. Like, yeah, oh, and the merchants are here, so that's right on schedule. So let's set another dwarf to go and make some crafts. So we'll just make some more rock crafts. And then what they should do is they should start by putting the crafts into here. So you can see here we got some crowns, we got some bracelets, amulets made out of rock, and we can sell those. In terms of the liaison, I don't think there's anything that we really need to ask them for. What would be nice would be if they were to send us some tin bars. So I'm going to ask them to send us that, and that's going to be the only thing that I'm requesting. They want headwear and drinks, so next year if we give them headwear and drinks, then that'll be worth more money than it usually is. But the reason we want to have tin bars is because we've got copper, so we can then make bronze, and bronze would be excellent if we could get some bronze weapons and things. It's not as good as steel, but it's pretty close to steel, so you know, nothing to sneeze at. We do want to make sure that we trade with them though, so we'll let the crass dwarfs do their things for a little bit, just making like granite scepters and things. Kaladin here, Saint Kaladin Trumpetburn is his full name. I always love this as well because they like make figurines, and it'll be like figurines of just random animals and things. So Kaladin has made a figurine of a fire snake, but sometimes it can be of like historical events and stuff. So this one here, for example, is this is Obel Reigned Grand. He is one of the deities. He's the deity of duty and boundaries, and he's depicted as a male dwarf. So just on this level here, because it's not super important where we put this, but I guess this will be a funny place to have it. We're just going to put a couple of offices right next to the volcano. Imagine having your office like right next to the volcano. We could flood the office at any time and you know, fill it with lava. But yeah, so we'll stick those here. Just get a couple of doors. And then this is going to be for our bookkeepers, so we'll put a chair here, and we'll do the same again with tables. So table here, table here. It would be rad. Right, I'm gonna have to pause it here and just be right back 1 second. So just bear with me 1 second, okay? I'll be back in a moment. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so the other thing that we need to think about now that we got those offices assigned is, well, we need to assign them first, actually. Just pop that there. Pop this one here. So now that we've got these offices assigned, we can assign them to our dwarf. So bookkeeper, manager, and then they'll be able to do their jobs. Oh, the blue triangles, they're up and down. So this just means that there's an up ramp, there's a ramp going up, and this is a ramp going down. That's all it means. So a dwarf can traverse up and down, or some other creature. Whereas on here, you see that there isn't any triangle, so there's no ramp to get like above here, so to speak. I think you can disable them in options, but like, I kind of keep them on just because it helps me visualize it, and also, you know, in old Dwarf Fortress, it was just blue triangles. That's how you knew if it, well, not even blue, just triangles. That's how you knew if a slope was there or not. So yeah, it's to help you to, you know, to picture it basically, and to make sure that you know exactly where. I think we got enough bins now, by the way. You know, so that you can tell exactly where everything goes. Oh, this guy's made a figurine out of pitch blend of a forgotten beast. That guy's become a bookkeeper. So now that we've got a bookkeeper, we can see exactly how much of everything that we got. And now that we've got the manager, that means that we can do the... we can now set manager tasks. So we can now set work orders instead of just saying, you know, like... so we can cancel this. Cancel that. No, I don't have anything set up. Okay, so we can do all those things. And now we can set some tasks through our work orders. So what we want to do is we probably want to just start with a very basic wooden barrel task. So if the amount of empty barrels is less than 10, make 10 wooden barrels. It's a very basic sort of order that we can have in the background. We'll do a similar one for beds. Make beds. And then we set an order on this. So if the amount of beds is less than 10, make 10 beds. And then that way they will be, you know, they should start tasking the workshops with making beds, so we don't have to constantly micromanage that. And then we just have enough beds. And I think we should want the same for doors. So actually, let's set up a door task. Door out of rock. Amount of rock doors is less than that. And we'll make them out of that size just because I've made all the other doors out of that for now. And we'll do the same with cabinets. So we want to make rock cabinets. And we want to set the order. There. That just means that they're going to constantly check how many beds there are, and then if there aren't enough beds, we should be able to get some beds automatically being made, so that we can, you know, make sure we've always got enough bedrooms for our dwarves, and enough doors for everything that we want to do project-wise. Because, you know, it's important to make sure that they got beds. It's one of the most basic things that will give them happiness. So we want to always be making sure we got enough beds. And at the moment we got 16. So, you know, that's more than enough for our population. But it won't be forever, and we're going to constantly need more and more of them. is there anything else that we can do? Oh, merchants are leaving soon. So what we want to do is we want to just very quickly move goods over to here. So we got on a bunch of like barrels, beds, bins. Move the finished goods bin over there. Anything else that we want to get rid of? We've got a bunch of mechanisms and things. Nope, don't see anything. So we'll do that, and then at the same time, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're constructing a lever over here. We'll use pitch blend. Every 3 bedrooms turn into 1. You could do that. I like to make the rooms a little bit bigger though, because the bigger the bedroom, the happier they are with it. And just giving them decent sized bedrooms is like an easy way to, you know, give them a little bit of happiness, basically. So let's just we're going to request anybody to come to the trade depot. We don't really care who it is, and we're just going to start doing some trading. Because this guy's never traded before, we don't have an exact idea of how valuable the junk is that we got, but we're going to be able to sell most of it. And we're just going to sell them all these like horrible figurines and things that we just made now, and try and get something out of it. Probably looking at this, we could do some meat and fish. So just get some food, and you know, make sure that we got an you know, that we're turning stuff into other stuff. So yeah, we're just going to sell all of these figurines and things, and in return, we're going to ask for. Let's see what they got. So they got some animals and cages. They got some dwarven ale, so we'll take both of the ale barrels. We'll take a. We can take some spears and stuff. They got some, you know, few bits and bobs in terms of that. We could do taking some. I don't know how much this is, because like so this is roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not even going to try and figure it out. We'll take. We'll ask them for some. I don't really care that I get any good value stuff from this. I just want to make sure that I've done a trade this year. So I'm just going to put a bunch of like food in here, and be like, yeah, okay, just give me all those. There you go. So we just traded a bunch of junk for a bunch of junk. We've gotten some food out of it. So that'll increase our food by quite a lot. And we don't need anybody here. And then they should come, and they're going to leave eventually. And that's just a very basic trade done. So now that we've got this mechanism here, we want to link this to here. So we just want somebody to come and link this lever to this drawbridge here, so that we can just make sure that we can shut this bridge if we need to. Which would be unfortunate if we have to, but you know, it could be as soon as next year that we need to shut the bridge, and you know, plan from there. I think the other thing we want to start thinking about is how we're going to make use of this magma. I think this will be the level that we make use of the magma on. So just thinking about it without actually committing anything to it, we could do with like a. It doesn't really need to be many. We'd only really need to make one breach. We'd only need to breach it once, because it would slowly fill up. So we could breach it here, for example. And we could then have like a reservoir filled with magma on here. So in terms of workshops, we'd get 1. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 9 workshops potentially here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. That's how much is this? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it'd be like that, and then above it we would have a. Oh, we want this to be on this level here, don't we? Yeah. Want this to... Oh, that's the bedroom level. I mean, it's fine. We'll have bedrooms all up in here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, Yeah, they only need one tile. That's correct. I'm just so basically we would have one workshop in this spot, one workshop in this spot. So you'd have 9 workshops in here. You could fit 9 workshops into this room, which is probably more than we'll need. But we need to just have lava underneath each tile where a workshop is. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly like that. We could have it like I don't know, how would you do this? Like so just like that. This is one workshop here. This is one workshop here. This is one workshop here. One workshop here. One workshop here. One workshop here. Yeah. So you could just do it like that, for example. Right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like that. So these would all be the channeled out ones, and yeah, they're all on there. So we could have them like that. So I think that'd work. We want to have like a railing here, or we'd have it here. Maybe like that. That just gives the dwarf enough time to run back this way, basically. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference, does it? But then I can put like a railing here, or a floodgate here, and a railing. Yeah. Okay. Like that. So we could just do it like that. And if they carve down into here, they'll be able to walk around inside here. Okay, I think that'll do. Let's hope we got a fast miner, or this could be the first death in the fortress. We should bring back the dead dwarf counter, which we used to use. Yeah, so this isn't breached yet. Yeah, and then they're digging out this level down here. As long as you got a good hospital, you can save them after all their fat melts off. Well, we won't have a hospital, but we will have a, we'll have replacements available, I guess. If a miner dies this early on, it's not the end of the world, right? Just so long as we've gotten ourselves an area where we can get some smelting done using the readily available magma that we got on. So let's have a look at our stones. I can never remember this, so this is like something I want to check before we before we get started on this. So if we go to work orders or tasks, is it? No, it's under stone use here. So these are all the magma safe rocks that we got. So hematite is magma safe, galena, dolomite, magnetite, obsidian, sphalerite. I'm not sure that we got any of these yet. Calcite, I haven't seen any calcite. I did see pitch blende earlier. Oh yeah, these are the other stones, so it could be on here. So we're looking for any kind of stone that we got. That's going to be that. Gabbro, hornblende, mica. We have got mica. So we got mica. I saw it earlier. And we have got pitch blende as well. So I think what we want to do is we want to start by making a work order. Gates are rock. Make a rock floodgate. We don't need 10. We'll reduce the number to 5, I guess. It's going to be a one-off order anyway. So we know that mica is magma safe, so we'll use mica. And then once this is dug out, we can have a dwarf come and stick a grate here. And we should also make some grates as well, out of mica too. So we will set a new task for grate. Just make 5 of those, that should be more than enough. Okay, so let's start placing some of those. So furniture, I think it's under, is it under constructions or is it under machines? Floodgates. So we want to stick a floodgate. I think we stick a floodgate here. I don't think we would ever need to use the floodgate, by the way. Like, it's just, if I place one, then, you know, it's there forever. Like, I've gotten one. Also, we've got a new magnets arrived. Not many of them. It looks like our population's only gone up to 17. So, we've gotten another weaponsmith. An additional weaponsmith has arrived in the fortress, by the looks of things. This guy here. He is a adequate weaponsmith. And 3 dwarf children. Not the best migrant wave, I must say. You know, weaponsmiths are fine. We've already got 2 legendary weaponsmiths though. We don't really need an adequate weaponsmith. Okay, so this guy's come and placed the floodgate here. So we've got the mica floodgate. I'm just going to double check. And like, this is purely my paranoia. And me, you know, being like dead cautious about this, but I just want to make sure that this does say that it's magma safe. Yeah, mica is magma safe. So we've gotten that there. So why don't we set up a lever over here, and this will just be for the floodgates in here, basically. And we also want to set up a grate so that any nasty creatures that might come up through the magma tube won't be able to get in there. Also, we got a starving cow, apparently. I guess somebody brought that with a migration wave, so let's put that outside. Yeah. Put that outside as well. With having lava, it negates the need for having lava negates the need to use any kind of charcoal or coal for the production of bars or metal bars. So it allows us to construct magma forges instead of regular forges, which takes out entire layers of the. Because normally you'd have to have fuel, so you would have to convert coal into fuel, or you'd have to convert wood into fuel. But with magma, we can skip that entirely. So that is one of the main uses, other than the more obvious military applications of having lots of very hot material that we can dump on people. So you know that is really what it's most valuable for. It saves us a lot of trouble. And every fortress can have magma. There's always magma at the bottom of the map, but you know, because if you dig deep far enough down, you'll find it. But it's very few locations have access to like basically a big tube of magma like we do here. So we want to take advantage of it. But yes, that is the other use that has just been laid out in the chat, is to pressurize it into to fling it at other people. Actually, hold on. Yeah. And then what we want to do is we want to construct the vertical bars. Probably here. So the reason we do the vertical bars is that that prevents creatures from being able to flow through as well. The mist from falling magma gives dwarves good thoughts if you're brave enough. I'm not brave enough to try that. To be honest, I've never even tried it with regular mist, let alone magma mist. Like, it's a certified FPS killer, that is. So you know, that's not one that I think we'll be trying in this or probably any fortress anytime soon. Right. So we're going to tell a dwarf to come and pull that lever. Multi-threading, yeah. I'm more interested. To be honest, I'm more interested in Oh, that's interesting. The floodgate is open, so they should be able to access that. Oh, it's because it's a wall grate, yeah. Yeah, that's why. That's why they couldn't construct it. So yeah, they'll come and place a mica for a wall grate here. Oh, actually, don't. Can't place that yet. Because if they place that, then the I've done this wrong. I've done this wrong. Done this wrong. I need to move this back, like to here, and then have the grates be here, basically. So I need to reconfigure it. Yeah, I can deinstall the floodgate. It's just annoying that I'm gonna have to do that. It's gonna set me back a little bit. Yeah. Alright, see if the dwarf can figure out how to do this. This will be interesting. Look at all these goslings we have. We need to butcher some of them soon. Right, okay, so they got the floodgate back up. This can be relinked to here. So we relink that to the floodgate. Then we pull this lever. Not sure why these dwarven children are hanging around down here. It's kind of irritating. Oh, the other thing that we haven't built is a dining room. Maybe maybe that'll be the first thing that we build once we get this this done here. Come on, pull the lever. Okay, so now that this is open, we can tell a dwarf to come and mine this out. So a dwarf will come and mine that out. So this guy here, who is this? This is Dennis Wolf. Let's see if he can manage it. He's being followed by a stray cat. Right. And he's immediately burst into flames. So I think, Dennis, we're just going to sacrifice you to the lava gods. Ah, unfortunate. Ah, we're not going to be able to get the grate down either. That's fine. We don't really need the grate. The grate's not super important. Yep, Dennis, I'm not sure if you're still here. Unfortunately, you have been eliminated from the fortress. We are going to have to open the grate up a little bit just to... This child, pull the lever again. Go and do something useful. Yeah, we'll start on in a graveyard soon, but let's just get some more lava into here so that we got enough lava for the magma forges. Well, yeah, we don't need the graveyard yet, but we can start designing a graveyard, like a proper. We can start designing a proper graveyard, right? Although maybe we should just put one near here, like next to the next to the place where he died, the memorial for him. Let's just do that real quick. What is it? It's under rock, isn't it? Yeah. Slab. Oh, no. Is it not under here? I thought it was. Maybe it's under the crafts. This one. Let's make it out of pitch blend, because we've only got one bit of pitch blend left as well. Make it out of mica and chuck it into the hole. No, we'll make it out of pitch blend. Pitch blend is lava proof, yeah. It is. It's also highly radioactive. But dwarves don't really care about that kind of stuff. Or at least that's what I've heard. I might be wrong on that. Anyway, let's get up some magma smelters. Blocked at this location. Why is it blocked at this location? Can you not have it be on the center tile? Oh, that's so irritating if true. Oh, that didn't used to be the case. You used to be able to have it be the center tile. We can rejig this. think all we need to do is just dig it out like that. Yeah. Our lonely digger, the only miner this fortress has ever had, Earl von Vommer. Alert. Dennis Wolf has been missing for a week. Yeah, I wonder where he's gone to. Oh, also a stray cat. Oh yeah, there was a cat down there as well. Forgot about that. So we do it like that, and then we can do it like we can just do it like that, can't we? So we'll have 3 magma smelters, and then the rest can. Well, we only have one. We only have one anvil at the moment, so we'll have to make more anvils. But we'll just stick the first anvil here. And then we got some smelters and we got some of those. Is there anything else that we want in terms of those, like workshop-wise? Now I could build a magma kiln, but I don't think that we got any, or a magma glass furnace. I don't think we're going to be doing any anything with that. Yeah, he went to a better place insofar as he's no longer in our fortress. Not being here is being in a better place. I don't have any coal around, no. We don't have any iron anyway. The best military metal we got is copper. So we weren't going to be doing steel, unfortunately, in this fortress anyway. This is mostly so that we can get our statue production and things up, and to start churning out some copper weapons. I've asked the traders to send us tin, so I'm hoping that we'll get some tin as well, and we'll be able to roll with some. Why can't I add new tasks? Oh well, in any case, these are set up now, so. Yeah, and we'll get some of that. I'm not sure why I can't select to add a new task here, unless there's something that... Is there enough lava underneath these? Is there a certain level of lava that needs to be underneath it? A vulture has stolen some kidneys. Right, this is what happens when you don't get your food inside. Yeah, and clicking on add new task. I'm gonna pull the lever again and get some more water flowing, more lava flowing in here. It might be that you need a specific level of magma in order to do it. Yeah, it has to be a depth of 4 or 4 out of 7 or greater. So it needs to be 4s and 5s in order for it to work. I see now we can add the task on that one. Yeah, so now they can do the task. So you can see the game. They're smelting the native aluminium. Or as they would say in the States, aluminum. Oh, we should make some wheelbarrows, actually. Now, this would be a good use case for wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrow. We will make them out of wood. Need 10 of them. That's a good number of wheelbarrows to have. Why not? Probably more than we'll ever need. But it just means that these guys aren't like carrying, you know, bits of bits, because they're carrying it downstairs at the moment. Actually, because I made a bar stockpile downstairs without thinking about it. So what we should do is we should just build a bar stockpile, like on this side here, like there, for example, and then that way we can do that. We should also, I think we should also see about getting a. Because we don't have iron, we can't actually make another anvil. I don't think you can make an anvil out of anything other than iron and steel, right? We can't make a copper anvil. So, well, let's see. Add new task. Furniture, iron. So, like an iron. Not sure where anvils come under this. Silver objects? Iron anvil. Yeah, iron anvil. But then if we go here for like other objects, like gold. Can't make a gold anvil. Yeah, that's a. We'll have to buy more anvils. But what we could do with is making some copper picks. So we should also be smelting tetrahedrite. Let's quickly. Let's just delete this. I'm just going to delete this workshop and replace it with something else. And put the bars and box workshop over here. Bronze? That's a good point. Bronze. We don't have native tin here though, so we are just relying on buying tin in order to make bronze, but we'll check bronze. So bronze, no. I'm pretty sure it's iron and steel only, unless you get an artifact anvil. So yeah, well, and I'm not going to count on getting an artifact anvil, for example. Well, at least we've got loads of aluminium bars, and we're also smelting tetrahedrite, and then we can make a new task. I'm not going to use the manager for this one. I'm just going to tell them to make a copper pick, or at least I want them to do that when they can, as soon as we got some copper bars. They should be smelting tetrahedrite, and tetrahedrite will make us some copper and silver, so we'll be able to do that. But we'll come out of this with plenty of bars of aluminium. We've already got 4 in here. I'm guessing my other dwarves are busy carrying them all upstairs because I told them to take them downstairs like a dummy before. So once this is done here, tetrahedrite. There you go, 4 copper bars. So pause the game. Weapons, copper pick. Just make a couple of copper picks. And then what we're going to do here. So we've gotten these guys. Some of these are just Earl von Wummer is meditating on suicide. Some of these guys are not very good weaponsmiths. They're actually pretty crap at it. Like this guy here, he's only an adequate weaponsmith. So what I'm thinking is that Ushira will become a new miner. So if we go to our tasks, labor even, and then miners. So we want Ushira, this guy here, and he's now going to be a miner. And I also wanted stone engravers here, so Ushir, and then where's my other miner here? This guy, yeah. Those can be my 2 engravers as well. He knows what's coming and wants to get ahead of it. Yeah, precisely. This will be the best. This will be the greatest copper pick that anyone has ever made, because it's going to be made by my legendary smith. And the other thing I think I'd like to do would be to start pumping out some pumping out some chairs and stuff. So I'm thinking one of these, one of these smiths here. So let's look at yours here. This person's not really got any skills in anything, and we don't really care about them being a weaponsmith. So we're going to set them up on labours, and we're going to create a new work detail, which is going to be just any other kind of metal crafting. So blacksmithing and metal crafting. Done, and we'll just make this into and then I'm going to assign only the selected to do this. So that's going to be on this, and that's going to be this one and this one. So that way we'll train some people up to be good at actually making statues and things, you know, out of metal, so that we're not wasting like valuable aluminium or valuable silver on people who aren't very good at it. But at the start, they're obviously not going to be great at it. So we're going to start by having them make our first dining room, and we're just going to make them make some tables and chairs. So let's just start with some, or we could even do some altars. Let's just start with some altars. No, we should start with some statues. Let's just make some statues out of copper. Or is there anything else that we can make instead? No, let's make some statue copper. Let's make some copper statues. We'll make 4 of those, and we'll just have those. We can put those into the starting dining room. And the last thing we want to do is we want to set up the slab to commemorate our good friend Dennis, who sacrificed himself so earnestly in order to enable us to set up this beautiful setup with our workshops. You know, we're always going to miss you. You know, you made a brave sacrifice, Dennis. You died digging this out. But somebody had to do it. And, you know, we gave you a fighting chance to run away. Unfortunately, you weren't as fast as the lava was. But, look, we got a very beautiful setup now for magma. So that now we can smelt out some metals and things. So, you know, all's well that ends well. And we've even put up a memorial slab next to the site where you burnt to a crisp, so that dwarves can remember your legacy. The slab reads, "In memory of Dennis Wolf, born 21, went missing in the year 100, admirer of blue peafowls." So apparently you were an admirer of blue peafowls. Yeah, you'll be, well, we're currently making some statues, so you know you will live on in the statues and the other things that we make. And speaking of which, we were going to make a dining room. Do we do it on the same level as the temples? Bit insensitive, isn't it? One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got magma to the surface. He's me, but better. It's a volcano. You know, nothing that complicated. We haven't done any kind of fancy magma setup here. We've taken the cheap and easy way out by just setting up on top of a volcano. Do you need any fuel for those forges? No, which is the great advantage of magma, is that we don't need fuel for them. That that enables us to pump out stuff a lot faster in terms of making sure that we got all of our lovely stuff to go. Unfought for me, my magma is in hell. Well, that's just the risk you take. Sometimes it's just going to be like that. I'm afraid. It can be tricky though to find a good embark with like volcanoes. I think it's even more difficult now, because like so many times I've seen like a volcano on the map and then it's surrounded by a mountain. It's like in the middle of a mountain range, and because you can't properly embark on top of a mountain, that obviously makes it really difficult to to do that kind of stuff, which is irritating. How many bars of how many bars of copper do we have at the moment for the very important the copper dining room, the first dining room in the fortress, which will be made out of copper? You don't like an exploded wagon? Nah. Not a big fan of that. We should make a couple of copper doors into the realm of copper. Let's smooth all this out though. This is going to be where the dining room is, and you can see I'm just putting a food stockpile, and there's space for a second stockpile here if we need it. We're just going to get them all to come and smooth this all out. Because we don't have a dining room yet. We don't have any mugs as well, which is unfortunate. We should set up a rock mug task and just tell them to make a shed load of mugs. I mean, probably 20 will be fine. I think every task will make 4 mugs. That'll be 80 mugs in total. So that'll be more than enough. Also, I'm still working up a run where I can go for a huge height difference river junctions, and I can build a fortress down. I mean, those kind of fortresses are really nice as well. By food, you mean beer? Dwarves like to eat. They also like to drink. They do both of those. Yeah, this will be where our dining room is, at just below our 2 temples that we got at the moment. Alcohol is just liquid bread. Stocks. This is actually where the bars and things are. I'm always forgetting that. So we can look at our bars. We currently have 26 bars of copper. I think per table it's 3 bars per table. So we could probably make 3 times 5 would be 15 bars. So we can make 5, then another 1 would be 6, so that would be 18. So we could make 6 tables, and then if we wanted to also make 6 chairs to go along with that, we need more tetrahedrite smelted. We just need more tetrahedrite smelted. Smelt the tetrahedrites, just set that. Again, just do another 10 tetrahedrites. I've never played Timberborn. I've seen people play it, but it's just never struck me as a game that I desperately want to try and play. And let's just start getting some. We'll go with copper doors, and we'll make exactly 2 of those. What is the shortcut for this menu? Shortcut is O. So the menu shortcut for this is O. And then for this, there isn't a menu shortcut to start the work order, unfortunately. But we can press O in order to open that up faster. Yeah, this guy's a legendary miner and a dabbling miner. I wonder why one of them is legendary and the other one isn't. I guess we'll never know. I think after we've done the dining room, we should start thinking about military and then also start thinking about our defenses. But, you know, we're just letting them sort this out first. That's not the reason. There is a different reason. A more shall we say, sad reason. Alright, let's just get all this engraved now. I've set the miners to be the only people who are allowed to engrave. It means it'll take longer for all this to be done, but it means that they will build up their skills, and they'll be the better, like, you know, that way we'll be able to consistently produce legendary engravings later on, instead of just having everybody, you know, dabbling at it. And I like having my miners. Okay, so this guy's lover was Dennis Wolf, the previous miner who is sadly no longer with us. But it does mean that these early engravings are not going to be very good. Like here, we just got engravings of figurines and things, an image of a dwarf. This is the site symbol. The stuff that they carve is based on their personality, historical events, things that they're interested in, but also on their skill. So when they start out, they're very unlikely to carve anything complicated. So this is why you get these like single line descriptions, because they're not very good at carving things yet. So unfortunately, let's use both the copper doors that we got. So unfortunately, it's not going to be anything too exciting as far as what they're doing. But you never know, you can get surprised. So yeah, we'll have some guys come and place these doors down here. So the copper doors. Then I think we'll start placing statues down as well. It'll take us a while to get there because we can't place the statues down until just until there's a space, you know, like we need them to do the engraving first and then place the statue down. So it'll take, it's going to be smooth, slow going, but you know, they can probably justify any bad painting as it depicting me melting in the lava. They don't know that you melted in the lava. As far as they're concerned, you went missing. You could be back any day. It'll be interesting to see what this is a statue of, because again, the people who made the statue, they're not very good at making stuff yet. So it's just an image of a dwarf, very basic statue. We're still pretty okay on food. Bars, we've got plenty of copper bars now, so let's set up those tasks. Copper tables. We'll just set this as 6 for now. Copper throne. Set this as 6. I don't know why we're using copper. I just feel like making a dining room out of copper. You know, there's not really any reason to use it. We could just make it out of stone and it'd be fine. Probably be better, it wouldn't take as long. But I want to make a copper dining room. The idea seems amusing to me. Yeah, precisely. Or making it out of soap. Alright, we have been streaming for a little bit now. It's about 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and I do need to go and do some stuff tomorrow, so I'm thinking I'm gonna save the game here, and we'll continue in a bit. But we got on a good start to the fortress. We got on our basic defense setup. We got on our magma forge setup. We're in a good position. It's late winter. It'll be spring soon. Spring is coming to Moomin Valley. And then we will get ourselves some more migrants. So, you know, that'll be grand. And we'll, you know, hopefully we'll have more than just 16 dwarves. We'll be able to set up a military. We're overdue a raid as well. So, yeah, we'll get that sorted soon. We should get a zombie raid, which will be interesting. We're not really in a position to do anything about it. I also need to go and read up on how to make squads work again. If I do upload this on YouTube, I'm going to have a load of comments from people saying that, oh, you need to do this for squads. I am aware of it. I'm looking it up, how to sort out the squads and make sure that they're equipment. So yeah, we'll save it here, and we'll continue with it another day. But thanks everybody for watching. DF Hack has some really good updates for it too. Yeah, I need to have a look through all the documentation for it. It's I'm really far behind on all those things at the moment. So, you know, we'll see. We'll sort it out, basically. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow anyway, so it'll be a little bit before I do stream again. Maybe Sunday would be the earliest. But thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys again next time, whenever that is. And, yeah, if you've enjoyed it, make sure to follow, and goodbye.